Hello everyone, my name is Conor Burke and I'm an actor and playwright from County Kildare in Ireland. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the next piece that you're about to hear, Everything is Grand and I'm Completely Okay, which is a play that I wrote in March of 2021. Everything is Grand and I'm Completely Okay tells the story of a young queer guy named Malachi, whose brother, just prior to the events of the play, unfortunately passed away by suicide. The play is really an exploration of what it is to grow up and what it is to come to terms with yourself and everything that's going on and all that you were and everything that you're not, and how that, even though that's a really difficult thing, it's quite hopeful and it can be a very lovely experience once you get to grips with the things that have happened to you, good or bad. I do think it is overall a piece of hope. I think it's a funny insight into a queer young person's life and the resilience that we all have had to kind of come to terms with. And the next 20 minutes or so is just an audio recording of the play. So thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoy.
Some life advice for you. If you're looking for life advice, don't Google it. Just don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it because it's not great. Googling life advice is akin to asking a politician for a straightforward answer. You'll be disappointed with the response. You see, I know that Googling life advice is never a good idea, but I still do it. In fact, I found myself doing it on the eve of my 25th birthday. I literally Googled turning 25 advice. Boredom took over and curiosity killed the cat. The first article that appeared was from a website called Lifehack. It was entitled 25 Positive Things You Should Know About Turning 25. The problem with a lot of these life advice pieces is that they are very American-centric. They reference things like having a good credit score and the importance of a 401k. What the fuck is that like? And they always give you the same advice too. Read a book. Eat some avocado. Catch flights, not feelings. Climb a mountain. Have good sex. Drink some water. Take some pictures. Be grateful. Be present. Buy a face mask. But I began to read anyway. Here are 25 of the most positive things you should already know by now. Number 4. You should know that 23 is done and dusted. No shit, like, I can count. Number 12. You should know how to decorate your house and make it your home. I still live at home with my man Dad, like, even though I work full time. The Irish housing crisis, it's done wonders for my sex life and my relationship with my parents. I can technically afford to move out, but my wage would barely cover my rent and bills, and what's the point of that? I briefly lived with my friend and colleague Pauline, but the partying was too much. I got tired of the lifestyle, and Pauline is a party animal. As well as that, I also quickly came to the realisation that if I didn't move back in with my parents, I would literally die. I'd love to put my own little touch on the house, but sure, my mother would kill me. Living at home is grand, like, and in this day and age it's more common than you think. I'm a bit overwhelmed by the decor though. I forgot what Irish mammies are like with their knickknacks. Every mother in the country has them, don't they? The live, laugh, love paraphernalia scattered around the house. My sister has a great one in the kitchen. Sorry about the mess. The children are too busy making memories. One that hung in my bathroom for years read, Life is about the journey, not the destination. I mean, can I not just take a shit in peace? I'm taking the piss out of them now, but I do like them quotes. They're what many people would consider a guilty pleasure. There's something I don't like now. Guilty pleasures. There are plenty of things in this life I feel guilty for, okay? Not going to the gym, eating too much, not being a good son, brother or friend. But I'm not going to feel guilty for owning a mug that says we are all in the gutter but some of us are looking at the stars. No way. Life is too short and too difficult as it is. Number 25. you should know that being 25 is not all that bad. Well, Jesus, thanks for the reassurance. When deciding to give this talk, I briefly pondered whether I should just list out all the things I've learned so far. You know, maybe a list of 25 things, one for each year. But I realised I don't like lists. They're too simple, and there would be too much pressure in making sure that each piece of life advice is as funny and enlightening as the last. Besides, you know what they say, there are two kinds of people in this world. Those who can finish lists. That was my dad joke there. Getting older now, so that means I'm a dad. I actually have a list, but I'll share it as I go on. You know, I did think that getting older was supposed to be easy, though. At least I thought that being in your 20s was supposed to be easier than being a teenager. The general consensus in society at large seems to be that teenagers have it tough, and they do, but Jesus, we have it worse. Being a teenager is dreaming about what might be. Being in your 20s is accepting what you have. Being a teenager, you need to ask for permission to go to the bathroom in your school. Being in your 20s is being expected to intricately navigate every small, minute detail of adulthood, even though 3 years prior you literally needed to ask someone if you could take a piss. And the thing is, I'm not good with coming to terms with who I am. I don't think anyone is. Do you ever come to terms with who you are? If the point of life is to grow and to keep growing and to grow until the day you die, surely you never come to terms with who you are. Because the second you come to terms with who you are, other things come into your life that change you. So you've come to terms with who you were a while ago, but the person you are now is different to that person because things have changed. And thus, you haven't come to terms with anything. Present tense you has to come to terms with past tense you, but not who you are at the minute. It's exhausting, and I'm tired, and life is a scam, and I want my money back. You're coming to terms with who you are is a lifelong journey for most, and for gay teenagers it's perhaps a bit more daunting. Coming out to my family was an experience. I'm not going to centre this talk around my sexuality, but it is an important part of my identity. I thought that coming out was going to be like it was on television, either heartwarming or devastating. There's no in between when it comes to Hollywood. I understand they have to do this for dramatic effect, but I was mostly met with nonchalance, and I'm a little bit devastated that there wasn't at least a sprinkling of hysterics surrounding the situation. So, what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm gay. I was sitting on my bed just after I disclosed some personal information to my brother Fiacre. Malachy, would you stop? You're not gay. You just haven't met the right woman. Fiacre turned to me, engrossed within his own heterosexuality, muttering with so much conviction I thought I would die on the spot. He stank, as always, of Lynx Africa, and he was slightly annoyed that I had interrupted his marathon viewing of Top Gear to tell him the news. I am gay, I protested. You don't have the right to tell me who I am. But how can you be? You slept with Michelle when you were 17. He got me there. I did have sex with Michelle at that age. Michelle was my best friend when I was a teenager. We both loved Grey's Anatomy, and we dropped to ordinary level Irish at the same time. We were bound by everything we had in common, even the things that we didn't wholly like about ourselves. On the night in question, I was drunk and she was bored and horny, a fatal combination that can only result in riding. I remember how strange I felt afterwards. All the lads at school used to talk about how fun it was to climb aboard the female express train. Destination, pussy, as my classmate Paddy remarked, but I never had a ticket in the first place. Michelle and I stopped talking after the whole debacle. How can you know you're gay? He pressed. How can you know you're straight? I retorted. I got him there, lads. He didn't know where to look. Fair point. Does this mean you're different now? Different. That was something that threw me off guard, lads, because I've always known I was different, but I was never sure why. I wanted to explain to Fiachra, my brother, my own flesh and blood, that I celebrate my difference, you know? That my journey to self-acceptance was a long and treacherous one, but that I'd finally found peace with that part of my identity, and I needed his support. Instead, though, I did what most of us do. I held it all in, and I just nodded. "Are you proud to be gay?" he said, almost whispering. I looked at him and I took a deep breath. I wouldn't say proud, because that implies that I've achieved something. I was proud to have completed my degree with first-class honours, Fiachra, and I was proud to have downloaded the Couch to 5K app when I was feeling bad about my body, so I'm not proud to be gay just because I have a slight inclination to listen to musical theatre albums on repeat, and I think that Davina McCall seems like a cool woman. But I wouldn't change it, if that's what you're asking. And besides, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. He looked at me dead in the eyes, and I stared straight back. A mutual stare that went on for what felt like an age. We were Arlene Foster and Mary Lou MacDonald standing off at a heated public debate. The final countdown. After what felt like an eternity, he spoke. "I remember when we were kids. And whenever I had a problem with anything, you told me to turn it into a positive. Failed an exam? This is an opportunity for you to learn, you'd say. Didn't get picked for the school GA team? Try again next year, Fiachra. You used to tell me, Fiachra, everything is grand and you'll be completely okay." "I did used to say those things to you, yeah," I said. "So, I'm going to put my own little spin on that trope of yours," he said. "Thanks for telling me. I won't stand here and say that I understand it, but I am your brother, so I'll always have your back." He leant over and gave me a hug. I was shaken at the tenderness of it, so I hugged him back. He headed out of my bedroom, and when he got to the door, he turned to look at me. "Wait until I tell Michelle that she turned you gay." I laughed, partly because it was a funny joke, but mostly from the relief. He accepts me, I thought. Everything was grand, and I was completely okay. He shut the door behind him, and I was left alone in my room once again. That was the last conversation I ever had with my brother. I should probably introduce myself to start things off. That's usually how social interactions work. My name is Malachy, I'm 25, and I've got some things to say about that. I live at home with my ma and da. My da is an electrician and my ma is a housewife and a stay-at-home mum, according to her Facebook page. According to my dad's Facebook, he studied at the School of Hard Knocks, whilst my ma graduated from the University of Life with a first-class degree in life. We're a normal family. I have two siblings, Aoibhinn and Fiachra. Aoibhinn is 29 and Fiachra is dead. He died suddenly. Suicide. A depressing start, I know, but I don't mean it to be. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you, because I think you'll appreciate the honesty, but I've been told before that I'm one of those people that put the fun in funeral. I take that as a compliment. Do me a favour and try to imagine a grieving person standing at their loved one's burial, sobbing as they're being lowered into the ground. Then picture me standing there doing the Macarena, trying to make them laugh. Me in a nutshell. I don't take life too seriously, which is why I like to treat death the same way. I'm going to have to admit you all that my fun in funeral label is one that gives me immense pleasure. My parents were insistent that they wanted to give all their children Irish names, but when my ma was pregnant with Fiachra, she suddenly decided that she wanted to call the yet-to-be-born child Charles. My dad nearly divorced her and joined the Ra. She eventually got bored of Charles, though, and stuck with Fiachra. Everything was grand, of course, but a week after the whole debacle, an Irish flag and a copy of the proclamation was hung in the sitting room. My dad swore it wasn't him and claimed that Martin McGuinness must have snuck into the house and did it himself. Big characters in my family, and I don't really think that I'm the exception. This is called exposition. I'm giving you some background information into my life so you know what to expect. That's what exposition does. It sets you up. To be completely honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what I'm setting you up for, but you know what? That's a lot like life. And before you ask, I don't believe it's important to get into the specifics about Fiachra's death, so I won't. But what matters is that he was once here and now he's not. And most people are so curious about his death, but I'm more interested in his life. And just in case anyone needed any clarification, he lived a great life. Because he was a great person. Well, no, actually, he was a bit of a wanker. He wasn't, but you know what siblings are like. I'm so easy to get along with as well. I'm not an argumentative person at all, and I know I'm not. Don't ask me how I know. I just know I'm not, all right? He was quiet enough now, to be fair, but I think it only seemed that way in comparison to the rest of the family. He was nearly as tall as me, obsessed with The Lord of the Rings, and had a long-term girlfriend. Her name is Kira, and she's lovely, but not the sharpest tool in the shed. That's not me being impertinent, I really mean it. The kind of person who licks her fingers to turn the page in a Kindle. They loved each other a lot, though. I was nervous about giving this talk, I won't lie. I had an employee evaluation last month, and I did great. My 2 supervisors praised me for my punctuality, attendance, and enthusiasm for the job at hand. Funnily enough, both of my supervisors are called Sarah, or as I like to call them, Sarah Squared. The only criticism I came under in my employee evaluation was failing to think outside the box. They were really nice about it, but I like to take people's feedback on board. Later that week, an opportunity to give a TEDx talk popped up. So, coupled with my supervisor's feedback and Fiachra's death, my quarter-life crisis really gave me the push to just go for it. Because both of our supervisors are named Sarah, we've given them little placeholders as names so we can distinguish between them both. One of the Sarahs gave me a big hug when she heard that I'd be giving this talk. We call her Sarah Glasses, because she wears glasses. You know, she's the sentimental supervisor and she cares deeply about all of the people just below her pay grade. She's genuinely interested in our lives and was very happy that I took her advice on board. I'm so proud that you took her advice about thinking outside the box, Melody. You'll do brilliantly. We call our other supervisor Sarah Nipslip, but I won't get into the specifics as to why we do that. Let's just say there may have been one too many amaretto sours consumed at the work Christmas party last year. After watching numerous TED Talks online, I have come to the conclusion that a good place to start when giving a talk is to tell you what my talk is going to be about. The name of this talk is Everything is Grand and I'm Completely Okay. It addresses a lot of things. For example, how most of the time everything is not grand and I'm not completely okay. And as a young Irish person, I quickly noticed that there are a lot of different routes I could go with this, you know, including but not limited to having no money, still living at home with my ma, comparing myself to everyone else and not feeling good enough, my absolute inability to get a match on Tinder, feeling self-conscious about my body, my dick, and how I'm finding it harder to have and to hold an erection as I get older. Watching friends around me get pregnant, get someone pregnant to emigrate or die, thinking that I'm going to end up alone, believing that I will have to leave the country for someone to love me, genuinely assuming that I'm less of a man because I don't have a driver's licence, and pondering why I didn't play GA when I was younger and do a business management degree in Waterford IT. And also having lower back pain in my early 20s. I don't want to come across as a beacon of wisdom, holier than thou, or like Dumbledore and or Gandalf. I just thought it might be helpful to some of you. I'm simply here to share my experiences as a young lad. That's why I'm here now. I couldn't resist. This might get bumpy.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Thomas. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, in the United States of America. And I'm so honored to be performing as a part of the Queer Youth Dialogues. I really hope you enjoy my performances today. I'm a poet. I just performed at World Pride, and let me tell you what, from someone who comes from rural America, never would I have thought my dreams would come true in performing in front of such a large audience, my largest audience to date. So no matter where you're from, understand that your art, your leadership, your activism, your organization, your mobilizing can really get you places that you never believed in. And I'm just honored to be with y'all today, and I hope that my words and my poetry can spark something in you or empower you to continue doing your work wherever you are. And I'm so proud of you, and I believe in you. So the first poem I have for you all is a piece called Back in My Closet. This piece changed my life. I performed it at one event, and I was booked at a bunch of prides afterwards. So just know that sometimes it's just one poem that changes your life. And I'm so grateful for this and honored to share with you all today. One night I left my friends. They wondered where I went, and I wondered that too. It was supposed to be another night of being hypnotized by beautiful boys and their bodacious thighs while dancing all dumb, doubting danger, and drinking with strangers. But for the first time in a long time, I had to stay home. I had to stay home and roam in a place where I have lived lies and told truths. Tonight, which I confronted, and I could have control. So instead of collectively cheering with community, I had to come back to my closet. I came back to wonder why I wandered away. I came back to think. I thought about touch and what it means in my community to be told we're good enough with just our fingertips. I thought about drag queens demanding democracy, diluting drama, and giving the damned more damage. I thought about trans women. As our death toll rises like ticks and talks, we take our time to tell our truth. I thought about how bold our bodies were bumping and booming to each other's beat in a bustling gay bar with sweat and heat. I feel so baptized. I thought about our lovers who leave and live their lives not promising a tomorrow or next time. I thought about our past, pulling and pushing our people into poverty and how that is still our present. I thought about lesbians living life loud, loving louder, gay men lusting in a crowd and liberating prouder just to give us each a bit of power. I thought about how black and brown really bond what we know to be a rainbow. I thought about the first time that we met and we hosted a hug instead of a handshake because in our community, our hearts are humble neighbors with each other. I thought about my closets, our closets, and how we keep our colorful clothes kept away with our courage until that one day you find yourself a key. Whether that key be a book, a person, a song, an article, or a magazine, one thing is one day something set us free. Free from failure to perform perfectly. When they only saw wounds of skin, honey, we were born to be burned in. It shows how every day I'm still flaming. How my love, my sexuality, my gender, my pride is something I will always be claiming. The night that I left my friends to make amends with the odds and ends, that's just another weekend's cleanse. The first step was to place a mirror in my closet. And the last step was to be honest. Thank you. This next piece is a poem I love so much because it is an ode to many things. It is an ode to pop music as a queer person. There's a history there. And an ode to being from a rural part of America, driving around. I spend a lot of time driving and listening to pop music. And the last ode this poem is to my transition as a trans woman in a It's also my first memory, but we'll get into that. This piece is titled Believe by Cher. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough now. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough now. My first ever memory was sitting in the back of a Chevy in my car seat while my mother was driving us home down country roads. Screaming that song was all I can remember. Singing the question I was too young to ever answer, but never too young to feel real. That this belief that this queer and trans body was born out of the anthems of heartbreak, or holding the seashell closer to my ear, wondering if the ocean ever sounded so real. The deal is that I have spent my life in transit, transitioning to the songs of being single and sad as my soundtrack. I was lusting recklessly, wandering on about my day of reckoning. It was in the music, though. It was not in any kind of music but pop music. From the songs that Stay With Me to Call Me Maybe. From Time After Time to The Boy Is Mine. From Dancing on My Own to How Will I Know. I'm still too young to understand, but now I'm old enough to be given a chance. So dance with me and watch us turn like the tables have, lessons earned. I am a romantic that is so hopeless, with a disenchanted diagnosis, but I love this song. In order for Sylvia to live, Seth had to go show and tell a name that never belonged to me. I believe, as Cher said, there is life after love. Seth, he was just my first. Like a lover I nursed in hospice and mourned. You've got this, they told me. I still sing this song, asking myself if I still have a chance. But look at where I am in the most conscious concert, collecting all of my courage. Oh, how far I have sung these songs. I am done with the feeling that I am just a name. I will be driving around in a place called change. I will always be whispering the chorus one more time. And I put my hand out the window and wonder, will this road take me home? Am I going the right way? How much longer in between the hours and the songs that sung my heartstrings? The clock keeps time, but distance is mine. I am not that far away. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really hope my poetry can spark something in you. I love writing and sharing my work. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram as @SheIsSylvia. It's SYLVIA. I would follow my journey. I'd love to follow you back. I'll be on social media, keeping up with all the different performances. And yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity and listening to me today. This has been such a joy. And my book comes out in October with these pieces being in the book. So if you enjoyed me performing them, you can find me, follow me, and purchase the book yourself. So thank you so much again for supporting me as a queer and trans woman artist in the Midwest of America. We can do anything now. We can do anything, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
finds you today. My name is Bakita. I'm a multidisciplinary artist based in Nairobi. This is Luia Boga, a guitarist, singer as well, also a multidisciplinary artist here in Nairobi. Today I'll be performing a few songs for you, some old, some new, not borrowed. I hope you enjoy what you see. Yeah. This first song is called Pump Up the Bass. The video is also on YouTube, so you can be sure to check it out when you have time. Pump up the bass, yeah. Step it, move it to the side, yeah. Pump up the bass, yeah. Step it, move it to the side, yeah. Hold up, drop it down. Show up with the funky sound. Run it to the ground. Show you where the magic's found. Show you where the magic's found. I know you wanna check up on it. This girl, yeah, she gorgeous, a bad thing, she on it. And she free to mind, oh. On the move, she taking flight, yeah. Your whole crew be acting shady. He's saucy and choosy, they're hating this gravy. Find a way to act right, yeah. If you wanna take a bite, oh. Hold up, drop it down. Show up with the funky sound. Run it to the ground. Show you where the magic's found. Show you where the magic's found. Lyrics ain't flowing cause I'm working through the motions. Would you help me if I told you I was drowning in an ocean inside? Don't assume to see behind this smile. See, I'm finally listening, I'm climbing up the well. Pressure was crippling, I was stuck under its spell. Yani, I wasn't doing so well, or doing much at all. Then do what's right by me and watch them let me fall. Hawataweza kunibless, hingo manikali, washabukia stress. If narcissistic girls wanna test, please go ahead so I can save you from yourself, G. Yeah. Hold up, drop it down, show up with the funky sound. Run it to the ground, show you where the magic's found. Hold up, drop it down, show up with the funky sound. Run it to the ground, show you where the magic's found. Pump up the bass, yeah. Step it, move it to the side, yeah. Pump up the bass, yeah. Step it, move it to the side, yeah. Hold up, drop it down. Show up with the funky sound. Run it to the ground. Show you where the magic's found. Show you where the magic's found. This is a funky tune. It'll have you up late at night. Might catch you blasting through the roof. Make sure you call me when you're high. We could vibe. Funky tune. It'll have you up late at night. Might catch you blasting through the roof. Make sure you call me when you're high. We could vibe. Make sure you call me when you're high. We could vibe. Make sure you call me when you're high. We could vibe. Make sure you call me. Make sure you call me. Love it. So, this next song is called Nishike. It's off of my EP Chamomile, which you can find on Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Yeah. away, 'cause you're buzzing, woman of my soul. Baby, you make me glow, and I never wanna be alone again. You fill the holes in me. The way you're grooving has me shook. You're present, and you got that look like you really wrote and changed the book on what it means to be mistook for royalty. Can I dream it? Can you see me? Are we in this? Ooh, the way we groove, two-step in, you got moves. Yeah, you know what it do, what it do. Ooh, the way we groove, two-step in, you got moves. Yeah, you know what it do, what it do. Nishike, so we can be together. In the moment, in the moment. How far? How far you willing to go? How far? How far you willing to go? What are you willing to do? How far you willing to go? I'm just hoping to make it through and keep faith in what I wrote. To find out you're making through, just wallowing in your thoughts. I'm just hoping to make it through and keep faith in what I brought. That last part was a quick little teaser off of Will, which is also on Chamomile. Yes. So this next song is called Upstairs, which is also on Chamomile. So be sure to check it out. This song is about overcoming adversity, and especially as this is a set about youth, this song is about feeling stuck because we are young, because there's people in higher places that are not giving us space to speak, to express ourselves. So this one's for us. I know I needed space, but I want it all now. I finally let it all go and found a way home somehow. Falling from their graces, but I'll make it on my own. Will they recognize the face they wanted eaten up by the storm? Eaten up by the storm, yeah, eaten up by the storm, eaten up by the storm, yeah. Within me, I think I found a way to settle all the confusion that's been stewing in my mental. I've been treating life like it was on a bento. Never really tried to find a way to let go. But now I'm spending all my words with intention. keep it sunny when I'm blowing up your mentions. Cause life's too cold to be passing an intent. So miss me with your judgment and obsession with making money, yet still counting your possessions. Because your soul's the only treasure you can count on. So don't be wasting it on finding ways to be socially relevant. I know I've needed space, but I want it all now. I finally let it all go and found a way home somehow. Falling from their graces, but I'll make it on my own. Will they recognize the face they wanted eaten up by the storm? Eaten up by the storm, yeah. Eaten up by the storm. Eaten up by the storm, yeah. So this next song is called Anxiety's Bitch. It's an unreleased song. I wrote it through trying to find ways to transform my own anxiety, pain, frustration into something that I can understand, something that I can love and believe is art. Yeah, enjoy. I have never been to Mars, but I imagine that it's intergalactical. Might leave some static. Oh, why can't I see? And I'm barely breathing. Oh, I think I've had it with tightropes and trapezes. I need to get about the shits and hopefully the business. Need you to get off my dick so I can think, it's this feeling again. And I don't know, it's got me hating the world, feeling so low, cause they don't understand the grip and it's so strong. Wish I was so low, but I'm here. Anxiety's bitch. Ooh, a new trick. Ooh, feeling too chicken to be clucking up my juice. But don't get me wrong, cause I'm not trying to tie a noose. I'm just letting it go, hoping I don't slip into deeper dissociative storms. Keeping score, she's asking for more, and I don't know how much I could give or endorse this feeling again. And I don't know, it's got me hating the world, feeling so low, cause they don't understand the grip and it's so strong. Wish I was so low, but I'm here. Anxiety's bitch. Ooh, a new trick. Ooh, can they see me running, hoping to get by without touching base or letting people be there for me in the night? I just really wanna be alone, cry a little, think it's stoned, or find a healthy way to balance all this hate and anger for the hand that has me about to break. And I don't know, it's got me hating the world, feeling so low, cause they don't understand the grip and it's so strong. Wish I was so low, is called Silver. Wow, I wrote this song in 2016 when I was still navigating my queerness and trying to understand what I felt, how I felt about myself, about different people, about depression. I hope you enjoy it. She once said she'll never let me go. Takes control of me, allows me to see past the glow. We're standing in the dark, eyes are open wide, just seeing past the stars, galaxies in contest. Tears have long been dry, finally floating to the sky. Hues contoured, refined. Hues contoured, refined. I know that she loved me for a purpose, not a chance this was ever more. You said that you knew me, we were timeless, we could resist fate's allure. But now I'm standing here, chips all in the air. Never thought that we would ever make it here. We're longing for the days consumed by purple haze. And now the time has come and we're no longer young. Face reborn, see my own Messiah. Rule unknown, wilder tides with higher powers of the night. Takes away what we know is light. Dance under shady lights, consumed by what we are. Wicked love but hatred, never far apart. Charge our bones when naked, let the world right in. Universe free from sin, bright light never dim. Face reborn, see my own Messiah. Rule unknown, while the tides with higher powers of the night. Takes away what we know is light. Dance under shady light. Dance under. Thank you so much. It's been such a blessing to be able to contribute this work of art for this day. I hope you've enjoyed this performance. I'd like to thank my guides, the people who made this possible, the people behind the cameras helping this come to life, Kipepeo Agency for making this possible as well, Luya Boga out here on the guitar, myself for putting in the work. Yeah, thank you.